We live in a world that says that creativity is essential, but treats it like a throw pillow. Lovely, but really completely irrelevant for real life. Hey friends, welcome to From the Threshold. I am Renee Hill, and each Saturday I come to you from my own back porch, my literal threshold, to offer you a moment of reflection for anyone navigating the in-between of creative life. It's not a tutorial, it's not a checklist, it's just a pause with a little guidance tucked in. My hope is that it becomes a place where you can reconnect with your own creative story, maybe with a little more compassion. So wherever you're listening from, I am glad you're here. What I'm about to say is a quote from a Psychology Today article. When it comes to creativity, two facts are clear. First, creativity tops nearly every 21st century skills list ever made. According to a coalition of 250 researchers from 60 institutions, it is one of the most essential skills that our children need to thrive in the future. Second, when IBM surveyed over 1,500 top executives in 60 countries to find out what quality mattered most in leadership, the answer wasn't strategy, it wasn't discipline, it was creativity. Now that quote is from 2014. If anything, it is more true today. And yet, for something so valued on paper, creativity is still treated as optional in real life. Schools have sidelined the arts to make room for standardized testing. Cultural funding is slashed year after year. Artists are celebrated in speeches, but often unsupported in practice. And in our daily lives, creativity gets squeezed out by busyness, by shame, by the sense that it isn't productive. If it isn't productive, it doesn't count. We live in a culture that talks about creativity like it's the future, but treats it like a luxury, an indulgence. And that contradiction isn't just frustrating for artists, it's disorienting for all of us because creativity is not a luxury. It's not a talent reserved for a gifted few. It's part of what it means to be human. So today I want to begin there with the idea that creativity is not something you have to earn, it is something that you already carry. And if you've forgotten that, it's okay. Last week we accidentally started this series with the wrong live. So this week I'm circling back to use that overdone phrase, and we're starting again with the core value that anchors our creative life. This is a simple but powerful truth. Creativity is a birthright, your birthright. You don't have to earn your creativity. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to have a certificate or a gallery wall or a perfectly crafted Instagram feed. You were born creative. Before you knew what art was, before anyone told you whether you were good at it, you were already making, already exploring, already bringing inner worlds into form. As children, we don't ask if what we're making is useful. We don't ask if it's marketable. We just make things. We build imaginary cities out of couch cushions. We draw with whatever's on hand, on whatever surface that we think is appropriate, whether our parents agree with us or not. We narrate the lives of stuffed animals or twigs or shadow puppets on the wall. There's no hesitation, no doubt, no shame, but somewhere along the way, maybe in school, maybe at home, maybe just inside your own mind, we start to believe that creativity has to look a certain way, that only some people, quote, have it, that if we can't draw realistically, so perfectly, or make something that sells, then we must not be very creative. So we quietly set it aside for more practical things, to learn more useful skills. Now, I would argue that creativity is one of our most useful skills that we can develop, but most institutions and cultural systems, they don't support the variety of ways that creativity exists in us. So we set it aside. Not because we stopped being creative, but because we stopped being permissioned. That's the wound that this week is trying to heal. Creativity is not a luxury. It's not optional. It's not a niche trait. It's not extra. It is a fundamental part of how we make meaning, how we play, how we adapt, how we survive. It is human. If you've been saying, I'm not creative, I want to suggest you don't need to become creative. You just need to return to the part of you that never stopped being so. Here's why that matters. Because when creativity becomes something we have to justify, something that only counts if it produces or performs or proves something, we lose access to one of the most essential parts of our humanity. In a world that prizes efficiency, productivity, and external validation, creativity can feel expendable, optional, even indulgent. But here's the thing. We don't create just for others. We foundationally create to know ourselves, to grieve, to wonder, to process, to name what we don't have words for, to remember what's real. When creativity is stripped away, when it's buried under shame or busyness or the lie that it's not useful, something in us grows quiet. We start to feel disconnected and disoriented, not because we've failed, but because we've been living at odds with something essential. In those moments, we are not just out of practice, we are out of relationship with our voice, with our rhythm, with our sense of wonder, and our sense of self. And like any relationship, it takes tending, reconnection, and time. Because reclaiming creativity isn't about becoming more productive or skilled or marketable. It's about becoming more whole. It's about coming back to the part of you that knows how to be present, how to imagine, how to make something honest. It's not about what you produce. It's about what reawakens in the process. We often think of creativity as a mysterious gift, something bestowed on a select few. But neuroscience tells a different story. Creativity is an inherent human capacity, deeply embedded in our biology. Neuroaesthetics is the study of how arts and aesthetic experiences affect the brain, and it has been the forefront of this revelation. The International Arts and Minds Lab at Johns Hopkins University has shown that engaging with the arts can measurably change the brain and body, enhancing well-being. Key findings include the following two things. First, creativity is innate. Aesthetic experiences like making or dancing or drawing activate neural pathways tied to emotion, memory, and cognition. Our brains are literally wired for creativity. And the health benefits are measurable. Creating art can lower cortisol, which is our primary stress hormone, and it raises dopamine, which is our motivation and pleasure chemical. Other researchers, like those at Frontiers in Human Neuroscience, have argued that creativity is an evolutionary adaptation, a survival mechanism that has helped humans innovate, adapt, and thrive. Even studies of brain activity during moments of improv or daydreaming show creativity activates a kind of whole brain dialogue that links imagination and decision-making and emotional intelligence. So what does this actually mean for us? It means that you don't have to earn the title of creative. It means that you don't need to wait until you're, quote, good at it. It means that you don't need to justify creative time. Engaging in creativity isn't just about making things. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that's designed for curiosity, insight, and transformation. So what might that look like in practice? What if you have not considered yourself creative, but now that you understand that creativity is a birthright, where do you begin? I suggest you start small. Start exactly where you are. Maybe it's picking up a needle and thread with no plan at all. Maybe it's journaling in fragments that don't really make sense yet. Maybe it's arranging some stones or leaves or flowers just because it brings a flicker of joy. Maybe it's stopping for a few extra seconds to admire the flowers on your way to the mailbox. It's not about proving anything. It's not about showing anyone anything. It's about remembering something. When you create without pressure, you begin to rebuild trust. Trust with your hands, trust with your vision, and trust with your voice. And something deeper shifts. Creativity becomes a rhythm, not a rush. It becomes a part of your way of being instead of another task on your to-do list. So this week, don't wait for a perfect idea or a free afternoon. Notice what flickers. Give it small opportunities to return. Nurture those moments, even if they feel silly, indulgent, or unfamiliar, or even uncomfortable. That kind of noticing activates bravery. If you feel drawn to wear a bold color that just feels like too much, wear it to the grocery store. If you feel like drawing a looping line in your child's sandbox, do so. And if you're not feeling disconnected right now, what's one way that you can lean in? One way that you can appreciate what creativity brings to your life? Recently, I came across a line in communications biology that struck me. It was a study that began with this sentence: creativity aids in the development of individual problem-solving skills and is critical to the cultural and economic advancement of society. I believe that that's true. But I also believe that while we give lip service in our culture to the importance of creativity, we rarely follow it up with action. And that is not just a problem for artists. That is a problem for all of us. Are you human? Then you are creative. And all of us, society as a whole, needs the kind of unique creativity that you carry within you. If this reflection felt like something that you want more of, you might enjoy the Limina letter. It's an email that I send every Sunday evening with thoughts about the creative life. And you can sign up through the link in the description below or at liminacreative.com/letters. And of course, I will be right here again next Saturday on the threshold if you would like to come on back. I would love to have you. Until then, stay passionately curious.